YouTube, it's Brian Phillips here. I have another unboxing. It's been 2 days since we got the last one, so I figured let's not waste any time. I actually have had this one for a little bit, but I've been so busy with other projects that I haven't got to it yet. And I've got a couple more up my sleeve too. Actually, 3 more. So, this is called the Hobbyking EZIO 1500 EP.
Show the box.
It's a glider, a powered glider. It's made of balsa wood, which is something that's a little bit different for me. I really like the packaging. It's super strong, and it's fairly light, I mean, considering everything that's in there. And so if you want to try to get a shot of this as we're opening it, very thick plastic bags that these are in. Everything is taped down. Looks like not atypical Hobbyking quality on the build so far. Okay, it looks like there's one staple holding this all together. So normally we wouldn't pull out the staple because we would need to, but we'll go ahead and pull the staple out so we can keep everything in neat tact. What else is in the box? Oh, there's the fuse and some stuff. We'll come back to that here in a minute. But for now, it looks like what we've got is, oh, there's 2 staples. We've got the horizontal and vertical stabilizers in their own bags. Looks like a carbon fiber spar, a couple of control rods, linkages, and then this looks like a keeper that will hold the wings in together probably. Very lightweight horizontal, there's a vertical stabilizer rather. The film looks really good on it. And as you can see on this wing, oh, I've got a ding already. That's okay, that should come out with a little bit of heat. Looks like CA hinges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, good lord. Like, wouldn't have 3 done just fine. Balsa wood control linkage. Let's show them. Can you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
So you can see it's a balsa wood construction, obviously. Very, very light. Very thin. But got some strength to it, which is cool. You always wonder about these Hobbyking pre-built things. I've had enough of them that have not turned out well. But the gliders have always been good. So, very thick plastic, that's crazy. Okay, what do we got? How many do we got on this? Oh, this is a tape hinge, guys. So it's a different carbon or just a fiber reinforced tape hinge here. So you got really easy flexibility. And let's show you guys the construction on this. Maybe the light will work better. Yeah. So it's got some strength to it. It's not as resilient as the vertical stabilizer, but it's quite a bit bigger. Looks like the notches are going to line up together like this. Going to limit our throw on the elevator, which should be no problem. Usually you don't need that much throw on the elevator. Okay, looks like there's 2 more staples here we're going to have to pop out. And those staples are so crappy. Every time I try to pull them, they like break. They don't just come out, they break off. That's so weird. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's a different type of staple, Chinese style. Okay, so you'll notice the polyhedral shape to the wing. Wow, that is quite interesting, the way that they package that. Whoa, is there carbon fiber on the ends? Whoa, the most inboard rib on the wing is actually made of carbon fiber. That is cool. Okay, so I'm being careful not to cut the film because you got to get really close. They pack these bags tight, guys. That's very light. Feels very strong. Wow, I'm surprised how good the film looks. Nice ripples. I like the way that looks. Nice clean hole cut. Feels like this is balsa here, and then of course it goes into the regular wings. Accessible servos, guys. How often do we see accessible servos on a cheap plane? Not very often to never. And then look at the shape of the aileron, guys. We've got a leading edge that's got a cut to allow it to go up, and then the bottom, of course, is where it's hinged. That was kind of a smart idea. Instead of hinging it from the top, which seems to be the more popular way of doing it. Although, I guess if you were asking me my opinion, this will be nice because you could do some good flaperons on it. But I've never found that outboard flaperons are particularly helpful on gliders. On this plane, my plans are right now to add split flaps, and we'll walk through that process together later on. And then also to add LEDs. This is solid wood on the end. This whole tip is solid wood all the way back to here. Let's give them a shot from the light here so you can see the ribs. That's really cool. There's, of course, a solid piece here where the servo is. I like that. That's cool. Can you see better here? Or is that, yeah, that light works better.
Yeah, the lamp is better. Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. And then we've got this carbon fiber. And that's really strong. That's impressive. I'm surprised a lot by that. And then I don't know if this is carbon fiber down here too. So they must have like a carbon fiber piece that comes down and then it's glued together maybe. But that's going to really make this thing strong at the connection points, which is where you need it to be strong. Let's pop the other wing out, give it a close, maybe not quite as close inspection. It's not, when you think of Hobbyking, most of the time you don't think of like super high quality models, but this thing looks pretty nice. It's super light. I'm surprised how light it is. And the packaging is just strangely strong. Look at that, guys. It didn't even rip. It's like heat shrink or something. I don't really understand that. They must have ran out of the junk. Had to use the good stuff finally. Same thing, nice and good. Resist twisting. This hinge tape looks just as good. Now, one thing about this, you see where that hole is, guys? It's what limits the down angle. I mean, granted, you're not going to need that much travel to make this thing fly, but it's a small aileron, really. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's probably enough throw, and the servos do look really small. They look like they might be a 3.5 gram servo. Might be a 5 gram servo, but look how dinky they are, guys. Carbon fiber, of course. Wingspan, 1,500 millimeters. So I'm 6 foot tall, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", depending on life insurance I'm buying. So it's not a dinky plane, but it's small enough that you could tuck this thing away in a backpack easily if you're going out to slope or something like that. Only minor imperfections in the film here. Can take a hot iron to that and fix that in a couple of seconds. Looks like color instructions. That's surprising. Let's give them a shot of the color instructions. They're showing the amount of throw. I never pay attention to that crap. I just get it so that it moves as much as... But look, I mean, we actually have instructions that show where to put the decals. That's extremely uncommon. Center of gravity is 49 millimeters from the leading edge. So it's right where the spar is. That makes sense. Those instructions look super easy, guys. Okay, so decals. Nice decal sheet. We're going to flatten this out. Just let it sit. It's always easier to do this if you can get them flat. We'll come back over here in a minute. But for now, let's get the fuse out. So the fuse is taped in a plastic bag, and it's not, there's no packing around it at all, guys. The packing was the plane, and you see all they've done is, in typical Hobbyking fashion, they've just kind of taped the parts into the corners of the box, depending on the strength of the box. Now, this is the first bag that's been ripped. This plane slipped out the end. Doesn't look like it's damaged. I like the spinner a lot. I like the spinner a lot. Looks like Emax servos. Are you kidding me? That's awesome, guys.
Are you sure this is from Hobbyking?
I'm not sure. Emax servos? EZIO 1.5m servos is what these are. They have really strong control rods. I'm surprised. But they get a little crash dragging piece here, sacrificial lamb in case you have landings onto an asphalt surface or something like that, which I wouldn't recommend. This is an 8.6 folding prop, which is cool because this spinner, I suspect, I mean, if it's underpowered, I suspect we could put a bigger prop on there, just make it look cooler. But you might overload the 20 amp ESC, and wow, look at that. That's a little thin. We might have to reinforce that a little bit with some CA. Let's get this box out of the way here. Let's show the guys the ribs here. I don't know if you guys can see that very good.
A little bit.
But there's paperwork in there. But this thing is solid. It's super rigid. What's this thing? This is the Hobbyking "we used more lead than we reported, so don't eat it" warning. Oh, it's a fortune.
I was just going to say that.
Please check the website for the instruction manual. Okay.
Well,
we'll just take care of that. Okay, XT60 installed. Looks like Fly Color 20 amp LV brushless motor ESC with a 5 volt at 3 amp BEC. 2 through 4 Lipos, or 2 through 4S Lipo. So we'll see what the motor rating would be. I don't know what the exact motor is. But I mean, yeah, I don't really exactly understand how you could get a 4S in here, so you're probably going to have to go with something smaller. Now let's talk about batteries for a minute. And I'm going to link to all this stuff. If you guys are new to flying, I got links to just everything you need to get this thing up in the air. This is the type of charger that I linked to. It's not the exact one, but it's similar. These things are inexpensive, and they got a 2 and 3S balance charger. Now, when I say balance charger, for those of you watching my channel, you probably already know, but those of you new to the channel, this is the pack I intend to use, which is a 1500 milliamp 3S. You can plug that balance charger port into this to charge. Balance charger port. This is how you discharge the battery with the XT60, that orange connector here. And that's going to plug in here, and it'll power your plane. When you're done, you take it out and you'll charge it on here. And the charge times on this would probably be, I don't know, anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, depending on how long you fly it. And they just have 3 little LEDs that come on red or green to tell you if it's charged. That's a really easy way of doing it. In terms of receivers, oh, and then if this battery doesn't fit well, which let's just try it out real quick here. Looks like there's ample room to slide back with it. So really the only thing, yeah, but how are you going to close the lid, guys? I think we may have to pull the leads back like this. Yes, 1500 milliamps fits really nicely. Now, don't take this for the gospel truth here, but you may not agree with this either, but I prefer a tighter fit on the battery as long as there's enough airflow to get the job done. One thing about this pack is that the tabs that they have designed this with have some thickness because it's a balsa wood piece, and as a result, when I go to try to put the canopy on, it's got to force the battery over to seat. Now, is that going to make this too easy to pop off? I don't know. Doesn't feel overly crazy strong. I don't think it's going to fall out, but as you can see, and in order to make that happen while you're flying, you would probably have a really severe turbulence or a crash. So I don't suspect that would happen. The other thing is these leads will be plugged in together, so it'll be a little bit more tidy. I'll grab that piece real quick. So just considering the canopy is light, I wouldn't want to have to rebuild it, but you could actually rebuild this fairly easily. out of balsa wood or some other material. The other thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not 100% sure I want it to look like a canopy. It looks a little weird to me. So, but that's a 1500 milliamp hour pack. The other packs that I intend to use, I got a 1300 milliamp, but I'd probably go down to the 1250 milliamp if I was trying. These are both 3S packs. I'll link to this one too. And I believe I linked to a 1300 milliamp zippy compact because it might fit better than the Admiral that I've got here from Motion. Plus I can't do affiliate links to Motion, so never mind. Never mind that. I'm just going to try to get this pack out. Okay, it comes out okay. One thing to keep in mind, you put a pack in, it's really tight. You might have a heck of a time getting it out if you puff it. So, kind of the same configuration here, leads down and under, and then plop this in here. That worked pretty good. Now, I'm glad we talked about batteries early on in this build slash, excuse me, unboxing, because here's the thing. Where are you putting your receiver, guys? You're not putting it here. I don't think you can. You're going to have to put it under the wing, which is not a big deal. Which leads me to my next thing that we need to discuss, and that's what we're going to use for a receiver. This is a plug-and-fly plane, meaning everything is installed except for the battery and the receiver. Of course, the receiver and the transmitter, and of course the charger. Everybody kind of knows that you have to have a transmitter that's compatible with a receiver, and that's how you control it. This has all the other controls in it that actually are controlled by the receiver. But in terms of the battery, you pick whatever you want to pick. You could run a 2S in this, it'd probably be enough to fly, but it's not going to be enough performance for most people that want to fly this type of plane. I use a DX18, you don't need a DX18. You can use a DX18, that'd be great, and you have a lot more features, but I'll link to like a DX9. The reason I say DX9, because this is only one channel, 2 channels, 3 channel, 4 channels. This is a 4-channel system. It's very simple because the ailerons can be shared together, or you can run the ailerons separately, like I'm going to do. So channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, channel 5. So rudder, elevator, aileron left, aileron right, throttle. That's how I'm going to do it. And that'll give me flaperons immediately and spoilerons immediately. We may find that this thing doesn't even really need flaps. Most planes that I fly don't need flaps. I want flaps. Because then I can land this thing in my hand, you know. A couple things to consider there. This is what I'm going to end up using. I'm going to use the Lemon RX 7-channel stabilizer with diversity antenna. I linked to one with a satellite because the affiliate link didn't have one with the diversity antenna without going to plus. I also linked to the plus. I personally would prefer the one without plus. If you want plus, it's got auto leveling capability. However, I've not had good luck with it. The stabilizer, I've had really good luck with. I highly recommend this. Now, if you don't want a stabilizer, no problem. This one's a lot cheaper. This is a 6-channel DSM-X. It does have the satellite port if you decide to go with the satellite. And these are just nothing for weight, you know, like 7-8 grams if that. Really good choice. I've taken these apart. This, if you guys watch my channel much, you'll remember over here, we used this receiver. Did we use that one on the Cessna or did we use it on this one? Either way, I either took apart a 6-channel receiver from Spectrum or I used this one from Lemon, and it's inside here to give me the extra channels for the flats. So either way, really good choice. DSM-X, DSM-2 reverse compatible, works fine if you're running a DSM-2 receiver, transmitter rather. Of course, we're using DSM-X on a DX18. Beyond that, I know there's some flying events where you can't use DSM-2. So that would be the only issue. If you want to learn more about it, go look it up. So to put this thing together is going to be like a 5-minute build. So basically, these two things are going to stick together. And then you guys see this little tab that comes up? That tab is going to stick into a receiver on the frame, okay? And then you'll just drop your cable in, This is going to be like the easiest build ever. And I've got the wire out, I know. But look how nice that looks, guys. You got this polyhedral wing. Oh wait, that might be straight in the middle. It might just be dihedral. Either way, it's going to fly great. You're going to have great control authority. I can't wait to see it go. I'm a little bit torn about the stickers though, because it looks really cool white, but it's also going to be hard to see in cloud cover. So we'll probably go ahead with the type of covering, and as sturdy as it is, you'll probably be able to pull them off. Ooh, one other little tip. See these black marks on the wingtips and the tail? Definitely worth doing. I might even have my wife print me some more black to put on the bottom of the wings, because when you look at a white wing up against the sky, it will disappear quickly. So anyway, initial thoughts. Looks like it's going to be a good buy. It's going to be a simple build. And I can't wait to see the thing fly. I think it's going to be great. Follow along for more. We'll have a build video next, and then we'll have a flight video just as soon as possible. Our weather is actually supposed to be pretty decent tomorrow, so it's possible we could have the build done today, and we'll see how the thing performs, maybe even today if things cooperate. But at that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Look in the description below and support the channel by buying from the links. Thanks for watching.